All right, now that we've all gone to sleep on it, I want to talk about some of my biggest takeaways from G Day. I think that a lot went on yesterday, and we know what everyone's eyes were on, and those the people throwing the football, and I've got a lot to say about that. But a lot of good stuff that happened yesterday. Some not so good stuff. It was a huge day for Georgia football, really, if you think about it, as far as just news pieces and just noteworthy things that happened. So well, let's just dive into it. Ryan Curley from Dog Post here, talking about G Day 2023. I got a plug, Double Dogs Dog Instruction. Those are both still available down below. We got to order more dog instructions, actually. People have been ordering a lot of these together just because why not have them both? Those back shots of Kirby. Red Zone, you saw us wearing those boom shirts yesterday and riding home. Those are, I actually like the boom shirt, to be honest with you. I think it's pretty cool. I like the collar, so it's good. But, I'll start with boom. Let's start with that transition. I think it's special when you have a live mascot like that, and it's such a big deal to transfer over to kind of pass the torch, and they literally passed the torch, but it was a collar. So collaring the new Bulldog. It was funny because Boom was a little cute. No, he knows his job, right? At this point, he's been doing it for a long time. He's out there. He's chill. Boom was refusal to come onto the field. He refused, and it was pretty funny. But look, he's still a puppy. It's still, I think, less than a year old. So he'll figure it out. He's got 5 months to get right for that first game, and he's a rook. So it'll be interesting. Cute dog. They're all cute at the end of the day. But I think it was funny. I thought it was nice that what they did for Devin Willock at the beginning of the game, taking the delay of game. Xavier Truss, he was the man that stood out for that first play. Carson Beck takes a knee. You can see it in one of the pictures that's going behind my head, how there's only 4 offensive linemen out there on the field for that first play. They took that knee. They took that penalty as a way to honor Devin. I thought that was great. I'll get all of the non-football stuff out of the way, on the field stuff. Brock Bowers was granted. They gave him his Mackey Trophy at halftime. The rings were shown. A bunch of the players from last year, Stetson, Keeley, Darnell, all those guys. Nolan Smith got a huge cheer from the crowd. So a lot happened yesterday. Bear Alexander, that his transfer got leaked, right? People think he's going to USC. I've heard a lot of weird things around that situation. I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm waiting for more details before we really talk about that because I don't want to say something that's just wrong. A lot of non-football stuff. So what happened on the field? Carson Beck is probably your QB1. I think that's what happened, right? I mean, he just looks the most comfortable. They flew down the field with him. He gets the ball out fast. It's crisp. He's got a lot of zip on his throw. He throws a beautiful football, I gotta say. He does. That's what I'd say. I think he's probably got the most talented arm of the 3 guys. He just seems like he's not a quarterback. Look, I don't really care who's the quarterback, all right? At the end of the day, Kirby's going to put the best guy out there. And whoever that is, you just have to trust it. But I know what I get to watch, and you guys watched it too yesterday, all right? You can't tell me that Carson's doesn't have a firm lead on this thing. I think he's got better mechanics than Brock Vandegrift. I think that Vandegrift is definitely a better runner than him. You cannot argue that. But he's not on the same level right now. And look, Carson's got a whole nother season, or partially, right? He's got the COVID years his freshman year. He's got more experience in college football than Brock Vandegrift. So he should be ahead. He knows he was the backup last year, that if Stetson got hurt, it was going to be him out there. I don't think the depth chart order has changed. Now, it's hard to make some of these observations because you have to think Gunner didn't really run with the ones, right? He ran with 2s and 3s, second team offense. And Brock mainly ran with the first team guys. Really, they didn't give him a lot of those reps until the third quarter, I guess. He was the one that was all over the place, where it was like, okay, he's running with this unit, he's running with that unit. For Carson, he was running with the ones. They gave him a drive or two with the 2s at the end, right? Just to mix it up. But he was running with the ones the whole time. He had the most reps with the ones. He was the first guy out there. Gunnar always ran with the backups, and then Vandergriff felt like he was playing this in-between game. Just off their performances, you can't get too into Brock Vandergriff's numbers. There were a few drop balls, right? His numbers should have looked better, all right? But he also makes more mistakes, right? I think at this point in their careers, Carson's probably a better decision maker. I don't think that's crazy to say. Gunnar, it doesn't seem like there's that much. It's hard for me to make this observation. So, what do you think? I thought Gunnar looked better, just eye test wise. I think, but he was playing worse competition. You know what I mean? And he was playing with worse players, quote unquote. George is deep. They're so deep. The team is really deep. Because think about how many guys were not even playing yesterday. I didn't even know some of these guys weren't going to play. A few people didn't know. Branson Robinson didn't play. Michael Williams didn't play. Smile Mondon. I knew some of them weren't going to play, but Smile Mondon didn't play. I mean, your running back room is banged up. And I thought it was interesting the way they moved this. I think that they don't know what their best secondary unit is. I don't think they know yet. And you shouldn't necessarily have to know at this point, but they clearly don't know who the best unit is in secondary, unless they were just messing with people yesterday. But you saw Malachi Starks being moved around. You saw Javon Bullard being moved around. You saw Tyke Smith being moved around. I saw a lot of guys opposite of Kamari Lassiter, specifically Nyland Green and Dalen Everett, and Julian Humphrey. So they are still rotating guys in that secondary unit, trying to figure out who is going to be back there. I think David Daniels seems like he's got a spot. And we knew that, they need to replace the safety. I thought I could see Malachi Starks being the star. Maybe he ends up being the best guy at that spot. I think he's your most talented secondary guy, for sure, from an athletic standpoint. So there was a lot going on, right? EJ Lightsey, I mean, he looks like he's going to be in that second unit for the middle linebackers, right? I mean, that's what it looked like. He was out there a lot for Smile Mondon, obviously, who wasn't out there. Jamon Dumas-Johnson, clearly, there's no question who those two guys are. But EJ Lightsey, he looks like he's got a good build. I think that the receiver room's really deep. I think Dominic Lovett might be your best wide receiver. And I don't think it matters who their best wide receiver is. I think that the ball is going to get spread around. But to me, it looks like Dominic Lovett might be their best guy. I don't know if he's their one, quote unquote. I think Brock Bowers is your number one weapon. Lawson Lucky looks good. There's so many takeaways, but those are some of my important ones because this will be 15, 20 minutes long. Hard to ignore the quarterback stuff and hard to ignore just the secondary thing is weird to me. I don't know. I think they're just still trying to figure it out. I don't think it's a bad thing, but some of the rotations, I was like, wow, okay. So I think when I woke up, I didn't think that much stuff was going to happen in one day. That's all I got to say about it. Thanks for watching. Links down below. Books down below. Shirts and stuff all down below. Thanks for watching. See you there.